Pokemon is one of the world's most expansive and popular franchises, so how could 107 measly little facts ever be enough? It couldn't. There's just too much awesomeness to cover in this weird and wacky world. So we've got even more facts coming at ya. Tim from Channel Frederator is going to count off the 107 more facts you should know about Pokemon, and whether you're a die-hard fan or just wondering what all the fuss is about, we've got a little something for everyone. Let's get started.
Number 1. Pokemon was created by game designer Satoshi Tajiri. Tajiri's adoration for video games began when he cut a lot of high school classes to go play games like Space Invaders. Number 2. The name Hoenn comes from the Japanese characters Ho, which means rich, and En, which means bond. Developers wanted to make sure the area's countryside looked especially rich for Ruby and Sapphire. Number 3. Game Freak, the company that eventually released the first Pokemon games, started out as Tahiri's fanzine expressing his love for video games. The zine wasn't widely circulated, but gained enough attention to attract future collaborators, most notably Ken Sugimori. Number 4. It took Tahiri and company 6 years to develop the Pokemon games. Game Freak even came very close to going bankrupt. Luckily for Planet Earth, this did not happen, and I'm pretty sure Game Freak's doing quite well now. Number 5. To give an idea of just how humble these beginnings were, the vast majority of development on the first Pokemon games were done by only 9 people. Number 6. Ken Sugimori is responsible for the designs of all 151 original Pokemon. He still oversees the designs and productions of the Pokemon world. So basically, this is the guy you have to thank for how Pokemon looks. Number 7. The first few seasons of Pokemon were animated the old-fashioned way, namely hand-painted cells. That's right, all that Pikachu lightning bolt action was painted by hand, and the cells are actually bigger than what you see on screen, meaning there was much more detail to each frame than appeared in the final product. Number 8, however, Pokemon isn't immune to trends in technology, so the series has gone digital since August 2002. Number 9, in 2013, the Black and White series revisited some of the classic scenes from the original anime when Ash's Charizard was reintroduced. However, the scenes were redone in Pokemon's new style, so the difference between hand-painted and digital became readily apparent, especially in regards to flame attacks. Number 10, even Ash himself looks a little different. It's a minor difference, but if you look Ash straight in the eyes, you'll notice he lost his brown irises, so his eyes are now just black. Number 11, Ash has never caught a fairy, steel, ghost, or psychic type Pokemon. And don't say Haunter, Ash doesn't actually catch the Haunter. Number 12, despite her son's love for Pokemon and his vast collection, Ash's mom Delia only has one Pokemon, Mr. Mime. Number 13, she was also a former student of Professor Oak, so maybe she's an unsung Pokemon hero. How awesome would that be? Number 14, there's a popular fan theory that somehow Ho-Oh is Ash's father, which is weird. And when this proposition was presented to storyboard artist Masamitsu Midaka, he erupted in laughter, so that's a pretty definitive no. Number 15, there was an episode that features Ash in the Safari Zone that was banned in the United States for the gratuitous use of handguns. This means, in the English dub, Ash never officially visited the Safari Zone, a major feature in the video games. Also, we feel we should mention the episode includes Meowth doing an interrogation with a Hitler mustache. Number 16, because Coco was later promoted to the Elite Four, that would also make him the first Elite Four member that Ash ever met, even if he hadn't quite made it there yet. Number 17, due to the Tohoku earthquake and Fukushima nuclear disaster in 2011, a 2-parter episode entitled Team Rocket vs. Team Plasma has been indefinitely postponed, possibly because it looks like the special has plenty of buildings collapsing and explosions, which might strike a chord. Number 18, this wasn't the first episode to be skipped over due to natural events. Battle of the Quaking Island, in which wish caches cause an earthquake, was also pulled in 2004 after a real-life earthquake occurred 2 weeks before its scheduled premiere. Number 19, Ash has used all of Team Rocket's main Pokemon, Arbok, Weezing, and Meowth, which isn't fair. I consider Wobbuffet to be one of the main. Number 20, when Oak was younger, his main Pokemon was a Charmeleon. His grandson's starter choice was Squirtle, which is obviously strong against fire types. Number 21, Gary Oak, the grandson of Professor Oak, is based on the rival from Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, and also Green if you're from Japan. Though not exactly the same, his clothes are similar to the rival in Red and Blue. Also, he's missing the snazzy jacket. Number 22, because the game was made to match the anime more faithfully, Pokemon Yellow's rival is a much closer match to Gary's look. Number 23, in Yellow, the rival's starter is Eevee, to match the player having a unique starter. Since Yellow is largely based on the show, Gary himself also has an Eevee Eevee, but Eevee wasn't his starter Pokemon. Number 24, Gary is pretty accomplished. In the first season, he's shown with 10 badges, 2 more than you can even earn in the Kanto region. Of the badges he shows, only 3 are ones that we know of: the Cascade badge, the Boulder badge, and the Rainbow badge. So either he's been cheating this entire time, or Ash needs to up his game. Number 25, Gary's badges stand a good chance at being legit though, because contrary to the game, in the anime there are more than 8 gyms in each area, which means Gary could have gone on all kinds of exciting adventures to places we've never even heard of. Number 26, to make Gary even more impressive seeming, in episode 65 of the original series, Gary is shown to have caught over 200 Pokemon. That's 49 more Pokemon types than even existed at that point. Ash, what are you doing? You gotta step it up. Number 27, Ash and Gary are seemingly childhood rivals and friends, going from later episodes and the game they are based on. Despite this, when Gary meets Ash in the first episode, he states it's the first time they've met, which could just be because Gary is a massive tool. Number 28, Ash received Pikachu in a Pokeball, and as of the current series, that's the only time he's ever been seen in one. Number 29, since entering our lives in the late 90s, Pikachu has actually slimmed down considerably. Fans of my age would argue that the plumper version is even more adorable, but hey, good for him losing weight. Number 30, Pikachu has defeated 2 legendary Pokemon and was the first Pokemon to defeat a Mega Evolved Pokemon without Mega Evolving himself. I mean, yes, he's a very good Pikachu. I'm sure his IVs are through the roof, but he's still no Jolteon. Number 31. Even though it might seem random to most people, Pikachu's words can actually be translated. Most notably, he says Pika-P when referring to Ash, Pikachu-P for Misty, Pikachu for Brock, and P when addressing an unknown. Number 32. Pikachu is considered by many to be Japan's Mickey Mouse. According to certain academic circles, Pikachu's worldwide iconic status actually has a shot at eventually dethroning Mickey Mouse as the biggest pop culture icon, which is especially impressive since Pikachu just turned 20. Number 33, Togepi in particular is interesting, as it was one of the first Generation 2 Pokemon that was ever shown, the first one to be owned by someone, and the first one we knew the name of. Of course, she's not the first we saw. That distinction goes to Ho-Oh. Number 34, Togepi was the first Pokemon to hatch out of an egg, which makes sense, it's basically 80% egg. Number 35, since Togepi was born from an egg and not naturally caught, she's never shown having an owner's Pokeball. Misty simply carried it wherever she went. Number 36, Ash and Misty are hinted at having strong feelings for each other, but this is much more played up in an absolutely 90s-rific love ballad in which Misty sings about how much she loves Ash. Number 37, while Brock has repeatedly come back to be Ash's companion, former director and storyboarder Masamitsu Hidaka has stated there are no plans to ever bring Misty back as a regular companion. Number 38, though Brock doesn't have an official last name, his American voice actor Eric Stewart has stated in a 2006 interview that his last name is Harrison. Number 39, Misty's last name is never officially revealed either. It's speculated to be Waterflower, mostly because her name in Japanese is Kasumiyawa, and Yawa translates to Waterflower in English. Number 40, Jessie and James' names are based on the Old West gunslinger Jesse James. The other Team Rocket's names are Butch and Cassidy, so the cowboy theme definitely holds. Except Giovanni. There's not a cowboy Giovanni as far as I know. Hey everyone, taking a quick break to let you know that Frederator's online store, Stash Right, is holding a $1,000 giveaway for buying all your plushies and t-shirts and whatever from your favorite cartoons. All that you need to enter is an email address. Contest rules apply and there's a link in the description below. Also, all shipping in the United States is totally free, and if you're outside the United States, Stash Right is taking $5 off the shipping costs. So go ahead and check them out now while you can. Number 41, no specific reason has been given for Jessie's signature hairstyle, but in some promo images it allows for her to make an R shape with her body. Number 42, her hair was originally red, but in the changeover from traditional coloring to digital color, it transitioned to a more magenta color. It's subtle, but it's there. Number 43, Jessie's Wobbuffet, though it's never a main focus, is the third most consistent Pokemon in the series, appearing less than only Meowth and Pikachu. Number 44, Meowth is never seen inside of a Pokeball. Does this mean he could actually be wild? Number 45, because of his unique status, Meowth is the only Pokemon to be a gym leader when Team Rocket was put in charge of Giovanni's gym. Number 46, in Japan, Lieutenant Surge's name is the Lightning American. Number 47, the Pokemon War Lieutenant Surge talks about was real. Producer Junichi Masuda says, the war was a clash between two different countries. People treated Pokemon with special powers as mere tools in their conflict. They gathered lots of Pokemon and Pokemon with unique powers. Wars. This long conflict was drawn out and many lives were lost. Number 48. Though Koga, the Fuchsia City gym leader, has appeared in the anime, his daughter Janine never has, making her the only gym leader to be excluded from the series. Number 49. Blaine, the Cinnabar Island gym leader, uses a disguise that's likely a reference to the fact that he has had 2 official game designs. His incognito look has the sunglasses and mustache that he had in Pokemon Red and Blue, while his revealed look has no mustache and a receding hairline, much similar to how he looked in the original Japanese release of Pokemon Red and Green. Number 50. In the English dub of Pokemon, Mewtwo is the first Pokemon ever seen, as he is shown flying by in the intro sequence, but the Japanese opener saves Mewtwo for later, so Charizard gets the distinction. Number 51. In the United States, the first 8 seasons of Pokemon were dubbed and edited by 4Kids Entertainment, the same company that also oversaw the English versions of Yu-Gi-Oh! And One Piece. 4Kids has been at the center of controversy for heavily Anglicizing their series, though, believe it or not, Pokemon is one of their more lightly edited properties. Number 52. That doesn't mean that 4Kids didn't get their hands dirty. 4Kids passed off a number of Japanese festivals in the series as just happenings within the Pokemon world, most notably the Summer Festival, Kids Day, and the Princess Festival, all of which have real-life equivalents in Japan. Number 53. Another notable change revolved around Ninetales, who's based on the Kitsune, a mythical Japanese fox that can have, well, up to 9 tails, and turns white or gold when it earns its 9th tail, either through age, wisdom, or power. Older Kitsune can also shapeshift into humans, which poor Ninetales can't do. Number 54. Believe it or not, Magikarp also has its source in mythology. There's a Chinese legend that a carp that can jump over a waterfall can transform into a powerful dragon, like, say, Gyarados. This is especially intriguing when you consider that Magikarp's attack Splash is better translated as Hop. Number 55. One of the changes that fans did enjoy, however, was the inclusion of the infamous Polka Rap. Number 56. The rap was written by 4Kids series composer John Siegler in collaboration with R&B singer James D. Train Williams and rapper Baby Floyd. Siegler admits the rap is one of his least favorite pieces he wrote for the series, since it's not particularly musically interesting. Number 57. The only Pokemon missing from the Generation 1 Poke Rap is Mew, as when it was written, he wasn't widely known. Number 58. Similarly, because certain Pokemon did not appear until later in the series, they had to be replaced by the closest things. This includes Kabuto being represented by Bill dressed in a Kabuto costume, and Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard, Raiden, Kabutops, and Zapdos being the gigantic robot versions of them from the episode The Island of Giant Pokemon. Number 59. There are a few errors in the early versions of the Poke Rap, including showing Poliwag when Poliwrath was mentioned, and showing Geodude during Graveler's segment. Number 60. The Pokemon anime isn't the only official depiction of the games released. They also released Pokemon Origins, a shorter mini-series that tells the story of Pokemon Red and Blue, from gaining their starter to fighting Mewtwo. Number 61. Does the Japanese voice of Red sound familiar? It's Junko Takeuchi, known for playing Naruto Uzumaki in Naruto. Number 62. The original plan for the third Pokemon movie revolved around the discovery of a Tyrannosaurus skeleton, which would abstractly deal with why no real-world animals exist in the world of Pokemon. The T-Rex fossil would come to life and have to be stopped by Ash and company. The film was rejected because the powers that be thought a story where a bunch of minerals gain consciousness and come back to life wouldn't be a hit, so I guess the powers that be have not seen Jurassic Park. Number 63. Shundo Takeshi, the chief writer of the original series and the writer of this scrapped third film, says that any appearance of real-world animals in the series were due to animation staff not paying close enough attention. Number 64. Diglett has feet? In a mission for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, you have to save a Diglett that is hanging on the edge of a mountain. After saving it, the Diglett says he feels like his feet are still walking on air. Number 65. One perk of always being around water is that Misty has great lung capacity. She has been able to spend extended amounts of time underwater during her performances at her gym. Number 66. Blastoise's original design didn't include the cannons coming out of his shell, which he still would have been awesome, and Squirtle would still have been the best starter. Number 67. In pre-alpha sketches, Torchic had floppy ears, which would make it a cute little bunny chicken thing instead of just a chicken thing. Number 68. Empoleon's name is based on Emperor and Napoleon, except in Japan where it's a combination of Emperor and Bonaparte. It's also 5'7", around the same height as Napoleon Bonaparte. Coincidence? I think not. Also, Napoleon wasn't that short. He was 5'2" by French feet in inches, which is larger than the standard standard unit. The whole short thing is a myth based around propaganda. Who said you wouldn't learn anything watching a Pokemon video? Number 69, Weedle was originally intended to follow the real-life growth cycle of a beetle. Beedrill won out because, according to designer Atsuko Nishida, it was simply cooler. Number 70, Machoke and Machamp aren't wearing pants. It may look like they have some serious tight shorts action happening, but it's really just part of their natural markings. Number 71, Pidgeot earned the ability to Mega Evolve because the game makers wanted to give Pidgeot the spotlight one more time, since it's a popular Pokemon and one that your rival uses in Red and Blue. Number 72, certain Pokemon didn't receive Mega Evolutions because creators felt Pokemon couldn't evolve further in terms of their design. So basically, they're just too perfect. Number 73, Mega Slowbro was created because designers asked, wouldn't it be interesting if Shelder was biting Slowbro's body and not just the tail? Number 74, Pichu was designed as the next Pikachu, but you can't replace Pikachu. Number 75, there's a popular theory that Gengar is Clefable's shadow, since the two have an eerily similar shape, and Gengar is just enough taller than Clefable to make a convincing shadow. He's officially listed as a shadow-type Pokemon after all. Aren't cartoon theories fun? Number 76, it's impossible for a Pokemon to have more than 2 types, but if you combined all 18 types in one Pokemon, it would still have one weakness, Rock. Number 77, it took Snorlax's sprite 17 years and 8 months to stand up. He got it by the 6th generation though. Better late than never. Number 78, Snorlax's Japanese name, Kabagon, is a play on words for sleep, snoring, and rest. Number 79, Tepig was designed to start off as cute enough to eat, but evolve to a point where it'd wind up eating you instead. Which makes sense considering it starts as an adorable little piglet, then turns into a fiery Ganondorf-esque death machine. Number 80. We know that Charmander's tail needs to be kept lit so that it can live, but I think Spoink has it worse. He has to continuously bounce or its heart will stop. Number 81. Apparently it's completely possible for people to just turn into Pokemon if you're special enough. Beside that time Ash turned into a Pikachu. Legend has it that a boy with extrasensory powers suddenly transformed into a Kadabra. Number 82. All Yamasks are also derived from people. They are the spirits of people interred in graves, and each one carries around a mask that resembles its face when it was a human and retains memories of its former life. Sometimes they look at the mask and cry. Number 83, Lampent is even darker. It's known to hang around hospitals waiting for people to die so it can use their spirits as fuel for its fire. Number 84, if you're a kid, you should probably avoid Drifloons. Kids unlucky enough to mistake it for a balloon tend to turn up missing. Oh yeah, they're also made up of the spirits of humans and Pokemon. Number 85, the Pokemon Banette is simply a plush doll that was thrown away, which came to life because it was that angry. It stalks around looking for the child that abandoned it. It's basically a horror story version of Toy Story. Number 86, a drawing of Banette was commissioned by Pokemon from famed horror manga author Junji Ito as part of a Halloween-related promotion called Cowabunga. Don't worry, Pokemon also allowed Ito to ruin Gengar for you. Number 87, in the original Pokemon Adventures manga series, Sabrina, Lieutenant Surge, and Koga are all members of Team Rocket. Number 88, in the same series, the Elite Four is an evil corporation that is trying to use the gym badges to power a laser that would wipe out humanity, except for a few people who are nice enough to their Pokemon. Number 89, Team Rocket did a rather unethical experiment on Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos that combined them into one giant named Thufizer. It's like a legendary version of Dodrio. Number 90, Pokemon Red and Blue sprites were criticized for not looking enough like the art in the anime. You know, the anime that came out after the games were made. In response, Game Freak modified the sprites for Yellow to make them look more like the anime. Number 91, Ash has caught a starter from every region. Number 92, a musical stage show called Pokemon Live toured the US in the second half of 2000. If you haven't seen it, you missed it by 16 years. Number 93, the musical incorporated some songs from the show as well as plenty of new exclusive material. If you're promoting the fact that you missed this, you can still buy the cast recording titled Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All Live, featuring such hits as What Kind of Pokemon Are You, You and Me and Pokemon, and Brock's unforgettable Two Perfect Girls. Number 94, all 150 original Pokemon managed to make a cameo. All of them. I feel bad for the costumes and props departments on that show. Number 95, the musical also introduced Mecha Mewtwo, which is a robot owned by Giovanni. Number 96, famous MMA fighter Ronda Rousey is a massive Pokemon fan. She says she lost a ton of weight the summer she got Pokemon Blue because she wouldn't stop playing. Number 97, there is a Pokemon club at Cornell University where young hopefuls can battle members and try to become the Pokemon champion of Cornell. They focus on both the card and video video games. Number 98, the Pokemon World Championships have been held in a different city every year, and with the number of players worldwide, I don't think they're worried about running out of cities. Number 99, on April 1st, 2014, Google had the cruelest April Fool's Day prank when they released a joke advertisement for an augmented reality version of Pokemon, along with an accompanying Google Maps game. Alongside the game, they also offered a job at Google with the official title of Pokemon Master for anyone who captured all 150. Number 100. Although the job offer was just a joke, 2.5 months later, in June of 2014, users who caught all 150 Pokemon were given official Pokemon Master business cards from Google. Also, you don't need all 150 Pokemon, you just need one. Jolteon for life! Number 101. Pikachu has been a staple of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade since 2000, making 16 consecutive appearances. Number 102. Pokemon is now in its 17th season, and all the series combined have over 800 episodes. So if you haven't been keeping up, you have some binge watching to do. Number 103. There have been over 260 million Pokemon games sold, and more than 21.5 billion cards shipped to 74 countries. The Census Bureau estimates that there are 7.4 billion people on Earth, so that's roughly 3 cards for every person on this planet. Number 104. In 2005, Pokemon the Park opened in Nagoya. Don't go buying a plane ticket though. The park was only a temporary traveling fair from March to September. Taiwan got it for a few months as well. Number 105. Don't cry though. Recently, Nintendo announced that Nintendo-themed attractions will be coming to Universal Studios theme parks. And while nothing specific has been announced, we all know a certain franchise that regularly partners with Nintendo. Number 106. One of the most recent Pokemon games released in Japan is Detective Pikachu, a simple point-and-click adventure game that wouldn't be terribly exciting if it weren't for the fact that it stars a talking Pikachu. But this Pikachu drinks coffee, is intelligent enough to solve mysteries, and is a womanizer. Number 107. To further augment how intriguing this game seems, at the time of writing, there is a petition on change.org with nearly 48,000 supporters for Danny DeVito to play Detective Pikachu in the English version of the game. And thanks to a fan video, it's already proved to be an amazing idea.